I found Jen Psaki's TikTok account, and she's speculating on Pete Hegseth. Now, I believe she's mostly wrong on this. She does make a prediction, and I'm going to predict against her because I'm hearing something different about Pete Hegseth, that he's turned a corner and is doing well. So this is where all of you can cast your vote in the comments on if you think Pete Hegseth goes through or not. Welcome to the Doug TeNapel channel. This is where all the happy patriots are. This is where we hang out and go over the big news each day. The reason why this Pete Hegseth deserves so much coverage is because he represents Trump's will post-election. Will he get his way? Because remember, he came in with an overwhelming mandate, one like we've never seen before. And will it be supposedly the Republicans are going to screw him over, according to Psaki? I don't believe it, but it also affects all of his other picks, his ability to reform the government, his ability to reform the FBI, etc.
There are two kind of interesting nerdy dynamics happening in Washington right now behind the scenes. Some of it's a little bit public that tell you that it's not business as usual, which I think is a very good thing. One is Republican senators, not a lot of them, but enough of them are doing what I'm going to call quiet defiance.
So quiet that it doesn't show up in public. Remember, we have a 6-vote lead right now. That means if 3 of them flipped against any candidate, that person would back out or be removed or lose. So the question is, are there 3 votes that would switch against Pete Hegseth? I have not heard any of that. I've only heard that he got some questions and flack from Lindsey Graham and Joni Ernst, and that both of them have flipped to his benefit so far.
Because basically they're not coming out publicly saying they're opposing nominees like Matt Gaetz or Pete Hegseth, which most are quiet about. Joni Ernst probably came the closest.
Joni Ernst, who came the closest and since publicly has endorsed Pete Hegseth.
Sean, it was a great meeting. People don't really know this. I've known Senator Ernst for over 10 years. I knew her when she was a state senator running to be the first female combat veteran, and we supported her in that effort and have continued to, because you get into these meetings and you get to listen to senators. It's an amazing advise and consent process, and you hear how thoughtful, serious, substantive they are on these key issues as they pertain to our Defense Department. And Joni Ernst is front and center on that. So able to have phone calls and meetings time and time again to talk over the issues is really, really important. And the fact that she's willing to support me through this process means a lot.
Lindsey Graham, who is privately in the back of campaigns making his little comments, and now has come out and endorsed Pete Hegseth, or is more open to it than before.
I've known Pete for a long time. I served with him in Afghanistan. The people over there said nothing but great things about him. The allegations against Pete are all anonymous sources. I am not going to make any decision based on an anonymous source.
So here she's creating or passing on a rumor and a conspiracy that I know is widespread on the left. It's just that the people on the right, I haven't seen anything. So that other article that I read earlier from Politico, that was an article that Catherine Herridge, the journalist, had pointed to and said this shows the turnaround, that it was the MAGA people online that was targeting huge outrage and a letter writing campaign and a call-in campaign to get the reluctant senators to give their vote. So I don't know what she's talking about now. I don't believe that she's talking about stuff that actually exists.
But behind the scenes, what's clear is they are making clear to Trump's team they are not going to support this guy.
It's clear. I don't believe it's clear at all. I believe it's murky. I believe it's pretty opaque. Clear as milk. Now she's getting all hopeful because they really, as much as they don't want Pete Hegseth, it's really the others that they want to go after. Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. are the big.
Benny, we're not looking for a choir boy to do this job. We're looking for somebody who understands what the problem is with our Department of Defense and who has repeatedly said he has the courage and the ability, and he understands what those issues are. And Pete has made no bones about it. He is actually laser focused on ridding the Department of Defense of DEI and wokeness. And that's something that absolutely needs to happen. And so I love to see, victories like Joni Ernst coming around and saying she'll support Pete in this endeavor, because I served in the military for a long time. I still have a lot of buddies that are running around all over places, all around the world, in very dangerous situations. And the focus has to be lethality.
Remember, RFK Jr. is going to oversee the most amount of money, and the Health and Human Services has the largest budget, bigger than our military budget, the amount of food that we give away.
So would it be better if it was public? Sure, so that they could explain to the public why they're opposed.
It would also be better if it was public so we'd know that it existed. So far, all I've seen in the public is people vocally having questions about Pete Hegseth, and then publicly the internet pushed back, MAGA pushed back and said, we will challenge you, we will primary you. And then the two biggest vocal opponents have changed their tune, Lindsey Graham, Johnny Ernst. I have not heard from Murkowski and Susan Collins out of Maine, which are the other two normal ones, and Mitch McConnell. I have pictures standing with Kash Patel. Everyone seems to be on board with all the others.
But even doing this means they might be able to get rid of some of the most problematic nominees. Gates first. Hegseth is clearly on his way out. We'll see how long he lasts. I expect someone like Tulsi Gabbard maybe next. We will see.
We will see. She's making a prediction. I will predict that she's wrong. I'll come back on this show and tell you if she got it right, if Hegseth doesn't go through. The news just came out today that Christopher Wray intends to resign before Kash Patel. That'll clear out the job at the FBI for Kash Patel before Trump's even inaugurated. So we'll look for that too. Again, if those dominoes start to fall, you'll see that we're right and Jen Psaki's wrong. If it's true, then me, a barely literate comic book artist, will have gotten it right in a way that the news media over at MSNBC, who I believe are always lying to us, that they got it wrong. I'm Doug in Exile. Make your prediction in the comments below.